Hey guys, it's Vanity Ezel by Overcharge and Vanguard, Ezel and the Vanity Weekly Videos because you don't like, comment, subscribe to the story. This time we are covering more reviews from DZ Set 10 with the new release of Liael Draconis, aka the new Liael Amota combined with the powers of Gabelis, which honestly based off the anime looks pretty cool, and I still spite Erica greatly for taking away Now's spot in the finals. Does anyone else care about this? Probably not, but I still resent Erica like hell, and if she makes it to the finals I will cry. First up, let's start with Tier Knight Stierno, Great on Boost, 5k Shield, aka Base, contains Rearguard, during train for Vanguard, Great 3 to Flagberg. All your enemies the same calm as they get 5,000 power. That automatically tells them not getting Flagberg revealed this set because they got a random support card, which gives us hope that there's a possibility we can get a new Flagberg in DZ set 11. Realistically, we're not going to, but we can always hope. The reason why we're not going to get it here is because Bushy tends to release the support for decks all at once. So if we got Flagberg cards here, we're not getting them later on. Moving on, we have Blue Eddie Draco Kid, grade 1 boost, 5k shield at 5k base, auto backward rearguard circle. Every time your unit attacks, if your Vanguards are grade 3 guard, it gets 3,000 power for the turn. Okay, honestly, not bad, because in pretty much every Stoicheia deck, this thing is applicable to, especially because a lot of them, not all of them, because Zorga's a thing, but a lot of them do multi-attack, so being able to get a hell of a lot of numbers out of it in things like Flagberg or Calliope, not a bad grade 1 to run, definitely a 2 of or possibly 3 of tech option, because honestly, it's a good beat stick. Moving on, we have Shot or Rotovisor, grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 10k base. Continues if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Rotovisor in the card name, gets +1 grade and all the following. Auto plus from rearguard circle, choose one of your opponent's rear guards until end of the turn. When this unit would attack a Vanguard, it attacks your opponent's Vanguard and all the units on that chosen circle in the same battle. Your opponent's Vanguards are grade 3 or greater, it also gets 5,000 power for the turn, and then continues to rearguard all your units Rotovisor in the card name, saying calm as they get boost. Okay, not bad. It can target a rearguard and basically solo kill it in the Vanguard for the rest of the turn. It's a 15k. It also gives everything in its column boost, including itself. My one issue is, why does it need a grade plus? I haven't played Rotovisor in a hot minute, but to my memory, none of the cards really required this thing required rearguards to be of grade 3. Maybe I'm wrong, and if so, then this is a really good card, but I don't see why the grade plus is important, but whatever. I mean, actually, it's kind of searchable via the grade 2, I guess, so not bad. Moving on, we have Modifying Arranger. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto backward rearguard circle once per turn. When your rearguard is in combat, it stands by card ability, energy box 3 to stand it. Okay, not bad. I mean, it's 3 energies to stand it. Rotovisor, not so much, because we do have a card that uses up energy, though we also have ways to energy charge, but still not the greatest option, so 2 of tech, I guess. Moving on, we have Liquid Squeak, so grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. I want to see a whole genuine ride line dedicated to this, because it has a skill that relates to another card. Auto drop zone when your Dish Rock Hopper, aka in my opinion a worse version of the robot. Pretty much what it does is when you play a set order from hand while it's on board, check the top 3, add a copy of it to your hand, and I think it bot deck the rest or it shuffles the rest. Yeah, but anyways, when that rearguard is placed on board, energy box 3, call this card to an open rearguard or call to a rearguard circle and saying calm as your Dish or Rock Hopper. So essentially it basically gets your 2 rearguards together, which isn't bad. I do want like a genuine ride line focused on these cards, because I think that's pretty cool. They made like a combo card and they made them like 2 sets apart from each other. Moving on, we have Route Iron Knight Joffil. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. I swear I saw this card in a fever dream. Auto rearguard when this unit is chosen by the ability of your Smithy card in your order zone during your turn. If your Vanguards are grade 3 guard to Zedhlans until end of your opponent's next turn, it can also intercept from back row. So not bad, because I believe the Smithy orders give them extra shield, so being able to have extra shield and intercept from back row is honestly pretty solid. It doesn't look like an Iron Knight, but he honestly looks pretty cool theming wise, so I'll take it honestly, and it's a solid like 3 of support card for Zedhlans. Which is weird to say that Zedhlans is now getting support, because we have another support card for Zedhlans, and it happened before at the start of DZ, where what was the other one called? Lehan got support like twice or 3 times in a row, and now Zedhlans is getting it twice /3 times in a row, because it got it with the Cote de Blaze set in set 9, it got a little bit of support, I want to say it was the Festival Collection, and then it's getting support here, so 3 times in a row, just like Luhan, because apparently they'll never get supported together. Anyways, Wild Iron Soldier Dragon, Indomitable Axe Dragon, grade 2 instead of 5k shield, 10k base, auto drop zone when your grade 3 greater Vanguard with Zedhlans as a card name is chosen by the ability of Blazing Route Iron Workshop in your order zone, energy box 3 called to rearguard circle. So solid that it can superior call itself back, because to my knowledge Zedhlans doesn't have cards that cost energy. If they do, it's only 1, so being able to superior call itself back is awesome. And then auto rearguard once per turn when this unit is chosen by the ability of a set order in your order zone, choose one of your grade 3 greater Vanguard with Zedhlans card name and gets 5,000 power for the turn. So it gives your Restanding Vanguard extra 5k power. Not bad. Recycles itself, turns itself into basically discard fodder, and gives your Vanguard 5k once per turn when it's chosen by a card ability, which acts for multiple copies of it. So pretty solid, not a bad grade 2 at all, easy 4 for Zedhlans. And then we have another card that is technically a Zedhlans card. Dancing Princess of Resonance Rocks Krashania. Great on boost, aka Shield, aka base. Auto when placed on rear guard circle, perform one of the following. Either CB1 to search your deck for a set order, reveal per hand, shuffle your deck. CB1 grab a set order is great. Or Soul Bounce 1 to search your deck or drop zone for up to one set order, reveal it per. And if your order zone has 2 or more set orders, then card name is it. Put it to your hand. If you search your deck, you shuffle it. So essentially, if you already have 2 of them on the board, you Soul Blast for it. If you don't have 2 of them on the board, you CB for it. And then auto rear guard circle when either this unit attack or boost. If your order zone has a set order, indicates 2,000 power for the turn, so 10k swinger / booster. And if your opponent's vanguards are grade 3 or greater, you choose 2 set orders from your order zone with the same card name as each other. If you do, this is you get additional 5,000 power. So 15k booster or swinger just by picking 2 set orders of the same name. Not a bad grade 1 at all. Really solid. Pull set orders out from deck for either CB or Soul. And it's a 10k booster, pretty much guaranteed, and possibly 15k once you have the 2 or more different set or 2 or more of the same set order. So pretty solid. 2 over 3 of support card for Zedhlans if you have the space for it. Moving on, we have our new ride line for Lyrical Monasterio, which is called the Juicy Fruity. Essentially, they focus on calling plant tokens. I'm willing to bet 20 bucks that this would have been a deck for Stoicheia if Granfia did not get an upgrade in the same set, which, by the way, this just feels like better Granfia in my opinion, but I digress. Juicy Fruity Mandalinda, grade 0 boost, 5k show, 6k base, honor point for second draw cards. You do actually have to run this as your starter because the grade 1 does require it. So Juicy Fruity app run, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto placed on rear guard, or auto when placed by riding from Juicy Fruity Mandalindra. Reveal a grade 3 card Juicy Fruit in the card free red deck, call to put plant token to rear guard circle. So love how it calls the plant token for free. It's an active ability because it activates the second it's placed. You know, it's very more of an aggressive deck that you can kind of build with it. And I love how the name is just called Juicy Fruity. It feels like it fits the theme of being kind of jokey with it being in Lyrical Monasterio, but kind of cute as well. Moving on, we have Juicy Fruity Nana Banana, grade 2 instead of 5k shield, 10k base, auto when placed by riding from Juicy Fruity app Ran. So to reveal a grade 3 Juicy Fruity from your ride deck, call plant token to rear guard circle. Sucks that they only call 1 plant token each, so it feels like a worse version of the Aurora ride line, but I mean, pretty solid that it still gets you 2 plant tokens overall, and again, they do it on place. Then we have Juicy Fruity Shura Lina, so grade 3 9% 13k base, continues Vanguard Circle, all your plant tokens get 5,000 power. That's just solid. There is no grade restriction on that. And then they also get an additional 5,000 power for every card in your soul with the same names as unit active per his turns. Important thing to note, that ability stacks, again, regardless of what grade your opponent's Vanguard's at. So inherently, all your plant tokens are 10k base just by this thing existing. But if you have a copy of it in your soul, all of them are 15k, second copy in the soul, 20k, third copy in the soul, 25k. And then active Vanguard, once per turn, soul boss will up to 2 plant tokens to rear guard circle. After that, if your opponent's at a grade 3 or greater and you have 4 or more rear guards, it gets triple drive specifically to end of turn, so it can be hit by the elementary sanctitude order. But cool, soul boss won't get you 2 plant tokens of any, which is pretty solid, and then possibly triple drive as well, because you only have to have 4 or more rear guards, and this gets you half of them in the slot. Then auto Vanguard once per turn when this unit attacks into anything, CB1 call a plant token to rear guard circle, so multi attack, and it gets continuous rear guard. This unit gets all the trigger effects your Vanguard gets, solid for trigger stacking, and then auto when it's returned from rear guard circle to your hand, draw a card to end of turn. So not bad. Lyrical Monasterio does have a lot of bouncing stuff because, you know, it's the inheritor of Bermuda Triangle. It's weird that it involves bouncing the token, though, because the token would be bounced back to hand, and then after the effect resolves, it will automatically disappear. But, I mean, cool. It basically replaces the token for a draw and prevents your opponent from, like, locking it, which, to be fair, tokens bypass lock anyways, but, I mean, take that as you will. My only issue with this deck is that it should have been for Stoicheia, specifically Claudine. This is basically what Claudine needs in terms of theming, because don't tell me these don't fit as Claudine cards, and then this could have been the evolution to Claudine. They could have actively done this, and they chose not to, and it annoys me. It's a good card, I just wish they did it that way. Moving on, we have Blowpaw Message Portian. So a grade 2 instead of 5k shield, 10k base. Speaking of which, so I'm going to get back on my point with this real quickly. Like how this could have been an evolution for Claudine, Gargarex could have been an evolution for Spada Marquis. Yeah, you think I forgot about that? No, I'm still pissed off about this. Don't know why they did this, but they did. Bushy, please upgrade your promo decks because they deserve it, and this was your chance, and you chose to ignore it. Handvolt, I swear, better not get passed up for a different grade 3. Anyways, Blowball Message Reporting, grade 2 instead of 5k shield, 10k base. This card looks like it was stolen from, I want to say it was like a Hopsit, the Bunny Girl card, or like, I know what it was. It's a countercharger. I don't remember for what deck, but it's a countercharger that looks exactly like this. Anyways, auto, rear guard, or hand. The start of your guard step, your grade 3 or greater Vanguard, Juicy Fruit, and his card name is attacked. Put this card into your soul. Great that can proc from both hand and rear guard. Choose whatever units being attacked and gets 10,000 power for the battle. Cool. Adds 23k to your Vanguard's power. Not bad. Can only be called before using Guardians or intercepting. So, I mean, not bad though. That ability can still stack and it gets you soul cards. So, not a bad 4 of, obviously. Moving on, we have Abundant Drowsy Valineria. Grade 1 boost back at shield, AK base, auto rear guard, valid to boost a token unit, soul boss 1, return the boosted unit to your hand. Okay, all around, this card sucks because there are a lot of generics in Lyrical Monasterio in general that can bounce rear guards for either the same cost or even cheaper. However, this card is good in the sense that the first thing that comes to mind with that ability is Eureka, and we all know how expensive Eureka is because she's really good in generic. So Valineria is not bad. She's definitely not great, but if you're on a budget, whatever you would have put the cards that are more expensive at. Then we have Overwhelming Performance and Ability, which is just incredibly good for generic token spam decks in Lyrical Monasterio, of which there are only 2, granted, but still. Grade 1 boost, Fat Cat Shield, AK base, auto and discard from your hand during your turn, you may shove it to soul. Cool, discard fodder. The second ability is auto rearguard, let it boost a token unit, specifically shove to soul countercharge 1. Cool, I don't think you need this in Artisaria, but I mean, this is a pretty solid suggestion for Artisaria because it gets you soul and it gets you CB. And even then, it still works really well in, you know, Juicy Fruity, of which only has 1 counter blaster so far, and until you run generic Lyrical Monasterio cards, will only remain 1 counter blaster, so feel free to go wild with this deck. Moving on, we have Touching Essence Dignity. As I say, we have another counter blaster. Great chance to have a shield, 10k base. Auto place on rearguard circle with a token unit on it. Can work for Artisaria, most likely will work for, actually, it doesn't really want Juicy Fruity, but it can still work for Juicy Fruity, CB1 or Soul Blast 2, which this thing gets you both, and draw a card, and if your Vanguard's a grade 3 rearguard, it gets additional 5,000 power for the turn, not bad, and then auto when a token is placed on the rearguard circle this unit is on by your Vanguard's ability, again, Juicy Fruity or Artisaria may bounce it back to hand. I do like how Juicy Fruity's line is entirely working for Artisaria, because all of them just specify token units, of which, again, Valineria is just worse Eureka, but still, you have 2 really great cards that work for both of them interchangeably, both resource-wise and just card-wise in general. Then, speaking of which, we have another Artisaria card, Spreading Chorus Illyrius. Great chance to 5k shield, 10k base, auto placed on rearguard circle, check the top 7, choose up to 1 sound system, discard and shuffle your deck. I love how Artisaria literally just got a copy and paste of Carnonoid Grunder from, what's it called, Orphis, which is pretty solid. And then auto and retire from rearguard circle. If your Vanguard's a grade 3 rearguard Artisaria, call Shadow Army token to your backward rearguard circle. Because Artisaria wants more consistent ways of calling Shadow Army tokens. I say that with sarcasm, I mean that in a genuine way, because my one gripe with my Artisaria deck is I can't fully make a board of Shadow Army tokens unless I spam out Liael, who shows up once every blue moon for some reason, even though she's at max copies, but I digress from that point. So being able to basically kill her and then call more Shadow Army tokens, solid, even if they go to the back row, because again, you're going to call her over with a Shadow Army token. Not to mention the fact that it's just when she's retired from rearguard in general, regardless of whose player's turn it is and by what means. So if your opponent is stupid enough to pop this with a card effect, it's going to call it back. Or you just want to straight up hard call over her with like a trigger, it's going to immediately backfire into a Shadow Army. So it's still not bad. Moving on, we have a special response Almeria, grade 2 and stuff like a shield, 10k base. Auto placed on rearguard circle. If your Vanguard's a grade 3 rearguard Lisciafael, choose up to 1 card from your drop zone, yeet to soul, and it gets 5,000 power for the turn. And then auto input from rearguard circle into your soul by the ability of your grade 3 rearguard Vanguard Lisciafael in the card name. Choose every backward rearguard stand it. I remember Lisciafael wants to have not that many rearguards on board, but I mean still restands a column, basically with Albania or the Lisciafael's column, which is nice. And not to mention the fact that she does everything in her skill for free. She gives you a free card from drop zone to soul, even if you don't want to put something in there or you don't have anything in your drop zone to put because you're playing empty drop zone for some reason, she'll still get the 5k regardless. And again, she stands rear guards in the back row for free. Like, there's literally no reason not to run this out of 4 of or 3 of, as long as like price isn't the concern, because she's honestly really great. Moving on, we have Sending Feelings Deep into the Sky and Cliff. Grade 1 boost by AK Shield, AK Base. Auto input on rearguard circle. When put from rearguard circle into Soul by the ability of a grade 3 grade Vanguard Lisciafael in the card name. Soul charge 1, energy charge 1. Not bad. Get you energy to use Lisciafael's and Albina's skill again, and get you Soul for Soul Blasting of Lisciafael because she does cost 2 Soul for her skill. Not bad. This definitely could be a worse grade 1. It could be a better grade 1 in terms of resource management, so she wouldn't get more than a 2 for me, but still pretty solid resource-wise nonetheless. Moving on, we have Overcharge cards. Raiden Shaft Dragon, great chance to have 5k shield, 10k base. Overcharge can change rear guard if your Vanguard has, if this unit was chosen by the ability of your grade 3 guard Vanguard equally by the card, it gets 10,000 power. Auto rear guard, the ability to attack anything, retire this unit, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets auto Vanguard. Once you attack, choose one of your rear guard the Overcharge ability, and gets 5,000 power for the turn until end of turn. So not only does this card basically have the standard Overcharge plus gain of getting plus 10k power, but it also has the ability to trigger Overcharge again. Because how Overcharge works is it's chosen, the unit that has Overcharge is chosen by the ability of your grade 3 grade Vanguard with Equilibra in the card, and that's how all of them start off. This ability gives Equilibra another ability to give more units Overcharge. So its Soul Blast 2 skill inherently gives 3 units Overcharge, and in the turn that you don't use the Divine skill, here's your extra use of it. Honestly, Raiden Shaft, pretty good card for Equilibria. 4 of. Moving on, we have Striking Build of Duststorm Slashton. This card looks awesome. It makes me want to build a Eugene deck just to run it. Grade 3 Tune Up at 13k base. Auto placed on Rearguard Circle from your deck by the ability of your Vanguard. Energy Blast 3, choose opponent's Rearguard, bind it. Saw that can be placed on the Rearguard by any ability, and it's just Energy Blast 3 to bind something. And then Auto Rearguard at the start of your battle phase. If your opponent's Rearguard is retired by the ability of Grade 3, get a Vanguard Eugene in this card name this turn. Soul Boss 1, choose one of your rested Rearguard, stand both this unit and that unit, and they both get 5,000 power for the turn. Okay, that's not bad. It's one Soul Boss to literally stand a column, and both of them gain 5k, but it can be any rested rear guard, so they don't have to be in the same column if your board is really only 2 more rear guards, and it does it regardless of what grade the opponent's Vanguard's at. My only issue with this card is that it requires when it's placed on rear guard circle, it binds your opponent's unit, not retires it, which hurts Eugene in the sense that you want to use Best Harvest with it, but it's still an incredible card in terms of art, it's still an incredible card in terms of skill, easy 3 of, not a 4 for Eugene. Then we have Skillful Roar, Dragon, Undimeo Launcher, reminding me that Dino Dragons got screwed over with Spinal Marquee. Great One Boost Vodka, Show Deck base. Auto and retire from Rearguard Circle by the ability of either your Vanguard that has either Ventinor in the card name, so the new Dragon Empire line, or is a Dino Dragon. So Gargarex slash, what's it called, Spinal Marquee. Put this card to your soul, choose one of your units, and it gets 5,000 power for the turn. Okay, not bad. Could have been a lot better, but I mean, it gets you soul, and pretty much it makes Ventilator skill free for the turn because it's Soul Boss 1 check the top 5, call something, so not bad at all. 2 over 3 of. Then we have our new cards for just Artisaria again. So Acclimating a FX Espar, grade 2 and stuff 5k show 10k base. Auto retire from your rearguard circle during your battle phase. If you have a grade 3, get a Vanguard or Artisaria in the card, and Soul Boss 2, bounce it back to hand. Okay, cool, but this card just proves my statement I made earlier about the Flagbearer card where I said that normally Butcher Road gives all support for a deck in one run, especially if it's like regardless if it's a new deck or not. And here we have Artisaria getting support on 2 separate days. I mean, one of which is much better than the other, but my point still stands. And then Sun-Kissed Summer Peniel, great on boost 5k shield, decade base. Auto put my guard circle if it's their battle that turn, gets 10k shield for the battle. Okay, it's the same thing I said for the other ones. It's not bad, but a lot of the times being restricted to the third battle, you could die before then. You could die after them. The 15k shield, in my opinion, ain't worth it, but if you want to run as a 1 of tech, go ahead. And on to our last reviews for the day. First up, we have Noxious Hurler, great on boost 5k shield, 8k base, a new support card for Blangdmire. Auto input from soul into your from deck into your soul, and during your turn, if your Vanguard's a grade 3, grade Blangdmire in the card name, energy blast 3, cult it open backward rearguard circle soul charge 1. Okay, it's not bad, especially if you're building Blangdmire on a budget because it can get you soul. The downside is it only procs off once you do get to Blangdmire, so if you pull it off of skills like Vacant, or not Vacant Fang, if you pull it off of the grade 1 Holoraptor or start soul charging before you get to Blangdmire, it's automatically not as good, and it does cost 3 energy, which means it takes away from Zalmoog for pretty much an unnecessary soul charge. So if you don't want to run this, I 100% see reason to, but if you're on a budget, it's a solid 2 of. Moving on, we have Bombing Juggler, grade 3 Generic Persona, 13k base, auto rearguard. If your binds on has 4 or more cards in it, this cost is reduced by Energy Blast 2. When it attacks, if you have a grade 3 grade or Vanguard, Blangdmire in the card name, regardless of what grade the opponent's Vanguard is at, Energy Blast 2, or again, if you have 4 more face down cards in bind zone, it gets 10,000 power for the battle. Then at the end of the battle, you may put it to soul. And then auto, when it's put into soul by the card ability of anything, if your Vanguard's a grade 3 or grade of Blangdmire, bind it face down, choose one of your rear guards, and it gets 5,000 power for the turn. And if your bind zone has 8 or more cards face down, and it gets 10,000 instead of 5,000. All around pretty solid. I do like the fact that it doesn't require the opponent to be a grade 3 for any of its skill, not to mention the fact that just like Colossus, it can proc off regardless of its sense of soul via its own ability or different card ability. And what I really like about this is just like Colossus as well, it does benefit from Blangdmire Nexus being put in the right deck because Blangdmire Nexus can bind during the main phase. That means if you want to swing a Bombing Juggler first, you can do it that way. All around, solid grade 3, gets numbers, sends itself to soul, binds itself pretty easily. It's essentially a free 10k because you're probably going to swing Blangdmire first regardless and get the 4 cards that binds on face down, and it gives other units power just by binding itself as well. So not a bad grade 3 at all, doesn't do deck out options, so solid 4 if you want to replace Colossus with it. I still value Colossus more than it, but it's just an option. Moving on, we have our new Liael support cards. We have Descending Eagle, grade on boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto when it's bound during turn of your Vanguard's a grade 3 or grade of Liael in the card name. Choose a grade 1 or grade Normie without Sentinel from the drop zone, and you may bot deck it. So it's a way to recycle your Normies, which is great. So if you don't want to recycle them because it might cause you to sack less triggers because you're technically putting no triggers back in the deck, and then fair enough, you don't have to put something back. But if you do want to put something back because you're about to superior call off of Liael's ability, something like Abwelius, there you go, there's your option. Not a bad grade 1. I could see it as a possible 1 of tech if you're playing budget builds. It's a 2 of tech, but I wouldn't recommend more than that because again, putting back Normies technically wouldn't help you if you're trying to like sack triggers, you know what I mean?
Moving on, we have Knight of Magnificent Beauty. I might grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base, auto rearguard when your other unit is placed on rearguard circle in the same column as it by the ability of your grade 3 grade of Vanguard leader in the card name. Shuffle to soul, that place unit gets 5,000 power for the turn. Cool, so the main downside to a lot of multi-type decks is you have to choose which battle to boost and which battle not to boost, which means one unit will always have less power. And while this still makes it so that the unit that you probably call is going to have less power, you can still boost with the first one with Amrite, and then when you superior call the second one, you can just send Amrite to soul and give the new called 1 5k, so it's at least hitting a new 5k threshold, which forces out 5k more guard out of your opponent. Not a bad grade 1 at all. It's a very solid option. I'd say 2 over 3 of your Leo deck has space for it if you want to run it, because it does get you soul for Leo and 5k power. Then we have Knight of Distant Bow Almov, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto and placed on rearguard circle. Choose a grade 3 card of Leo in the card name from your right deck, you may reveal it. If you revealed a card or your Vanguard already is a grade 3 card of Leo in the card name, energy charge 1. Cool, free energy, that's honestly pretty solid. And then auto rearguard at the end of the battle that it boosted. If your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater Leo, and your opponent is a grade 3 or greater unit, shove this card to soul, and you, the player, get all your front rearguards at 5,000 power for the turn. All around pretty solid, because just like with this unit up here, it's always kind of 50-50 on what unit you're going to boost with. This being able to give that 5k boost to everyone in the front row that isn't the Vanguard is all around pretty solid, and it gets you more soul, which again is very important because a lot of Leo support cards do require soul blast cost. I'm gonna go ahead and throw out Gabwelius, Regio, who can search Gabwelius, what's it called, Edoris, if you choose to run Edoris, etc. So again, being able to unplace energy charge, pretty solid, and being able to go to soul for straight up free and then get rearguards 5k, not a bad card at all. In my opinion, easy 3 of, if not a 4 of in Leo. And then our last card of the day is obviously our new Liael herself, Faded One of Sacred Time, Liael equals Draconis. I know you don't pronounce the equals, I just like saying the equals. Grade 3 generic persona, 13k base, act Vanguard once per turn by energy blasting 4 and binding a normal unit from your rear guard or from your drop zone. Choose a card from your hand and discarding it gets +1 drive for the turn. I love how the discard is not a part of the cost. That means if your hand is at 0, as we saw with Erica during her match with Sue, because if you weren't paying attention, she emptied out her hand before she used the skill, you can still get the drive as long as you have the 4 energy and you bind a norm from rear guard to hand. I was wondering why Almov required you to energy charge, because none of Leo's support to my knowledge actually required energy except for maybe one card that no one runs, but pretty solid that it does actually go to 4 energy, and that there's a support card now for that just gets you energy for free before you even get to grade 3 in general. So again, quad drive is pretty solid. And then auto Vanguard, when attacks on anything, CP1, choose over rear guards and bind it, and then search your deck for up to 1 card the same card name as any card in your bind zone, call to rear guard circle, shuffle your deck. This is straight up upgrade over OG Leo, who basically did the same thing, except the card you bound is the card you have to superior call from deck. Now you can bind any rear guard and then call any card from your bind zone to the rear guard as long as you have a copy in your deck. So say for example you bound an Idris but you have a Gabwelius in your bind zone, you can get the Gabwelius. And because it binds an army from your drop zone, this means you can now use Liael Immorta if you choose to main deck her as an extra PG, because now she's proccable on turn 3 or every single turn because you're getting the extra card in bind zone. And then finally her divine skill, auto Vanguard. Anything about this, she attacked into anything. If your opponent's Vanguard is a grade 3 grader, choose a grade 3 grader card Leo discarding from your soul or drop something you may read as stand. If you roll, this unit's drag becomes 1 until end of turn. Honestly, not bad, because it's literally the same thing as OG Leo, except she chooses any Leo to superior ride and she can pull from soul or drop zone, so you no longer have to try to soul blast that card out. You can choose to superior ride from soul. The best part is about this is that it allows future options, because if they ever print more Leos, they are now automatically superior rideable via Liael equals Draconis. All around, very solid grade 3. It gets the power to do trap checks, which I think is coming from the Gabwelius inheritance, not to mention the fact that it's an energy blast 4 skill, which is pretty solid, and it gets you an extra bind zone card, so again it has synergy with OG Leo. It also is basically stronger OG Leo, and it again opens up future options for units, but it also can work with OG Leo as well in terms of the superior ride factor. All around, very incredible grade 3. I love this card a lot and I cannot wait to test it out, so I'm going to end this one here. I hope all of you enjoyed. Next week we'll be getting new support cards for Ezel and for Magnolia, so I'll see you all then. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join Switch, and don't forget to set up your Vanguards.